Hey, Motorman here, and I'm at Newport Richey Harley-Davidson. I'm going to take a bike for a ride I think you might be interested in. But before I do that, before I tell you about the bike, I want to show you a little clip from, I think it was last week. One of the students was having a problem, and I see this, well, probably 2 out of 8 students will have this similar problem. Try to decipher what it is, exactly what his problem is, and then I'll go over it at the end of this video and see how well you did. In the meantime, I'm going to take this 2014 Road King for a ride. This particular one has spoke wheels, which I like the classic look of the spoke wheels. Plus, if you want to put wide white walls on this, it looks fantastic, very much like a Road King Classic, but with hard bags. Basically the same bike. This bike has just under 16,000 miles on it. Very nice condition. It's the 103 twin cam motor. And to me, the Road King is probably one of the most versatile Harley-Davidson touring bikes because you could do so much with it. If you want to put a fairing on it that comes off easily, you could do that with the aftermarket. You could leave your windshield on. If you want to ride around town, take that windshield off. Usually that doesn't bother me till I get above 50 miles an hour. Above 50, yeah, I want a windshield. Well, let's take it for a ride, see how it feels. Well, all right, as usual, nice low seat height on a Road King. I'm guessing if you're 5'4" or taller, you could flat foot this bike easily. And also keep in mind that the Road King is the most nimble heavyweight motorcycle. All the Harley touring bikes are very nimble, but this is about the best, probably because there's no fairing up front. Saves you about 30 pounds in weight, makes it much easier to steer. This bike has got Reinhardt exhaust, some custom mirrors. Highly maneuverable, easy to handle motorcycle. All right, let's get it out on the road. So this bike has what looks like mini apes. The later Road Kings did come with their own mini apes. They also known as the police bars, but these aren't too bad. I mean, I'm in a comfortable riding situation right now. If I wanted the bars closer, there's plenty of adjustment, pull back to do that. If I wanted them further, if you're a tall guy, hey, you could adjust them further. These 103s are known for having all the bugs worked out of the twin cam motors by this time in 2014. By the way, they're asking $10,995 for this bike. And of course, if you mention Motorman at Newport Richey Harley-Davidson, this is going to save you a few bucks as well. But this bike rides perfectly. Got plenty of power. Brakes work really well. And like I said, just 15,700 miles, that's nothing. There are all kinds of aftermarket modifications you could make to the 103s. I've heard if you put a cam, there are 2 cams actually in this bike, that you can get about as much power, maybe even a little bit more, than the M8 motor. These bikes have More power than you'll ever need right from the showroom. Very smooth. I rode my Lowrider S to the dealership today, and I can tell you, because these are rubber mounted motors on the touring bikes, it is smoother than even the new Softails. The only time you feel any vibration at all is at idle. As soon as you get above idle, it's as smooth as you want it to be. So if you don't want to spend a ton of money on a new bike, as everybody knows, used is the way to go. And in this case, lightly used, because miles are low, especially for 2014. The bike rides beautifully. Body's in perfect condition. And at, you know, less than $10,995, because you're going to get a Motorman discount, you're not going to break the bank. They will, of course, finance it for you, or you can pay cash. Cash is always good. So when you head down to Newport Richey Harley Davidson, look for this bike. You'll know it immediately because it's got the wire spoke wheels. Some people don't like that. Personally, I like the classic look of them, and because they're 16-inch front and rear, you could put wide white walls just like you could on the classic and get that beautiful nostalgic look. Now, I was hoping to have my new Muscle Cars Old and New YouTube channel up by now, but hasn't worked out. Having some problems posting videos on that separate channel. Don't know why, but if you're an expert on setting up a YouTube channel, hey, give me a yell. I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, I'm going to give you just a little bit more of the Mecum auction here in Kissimmee. Show you some beautiful cars. And then I'll say, well, till next week. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and when I get that Muscle Cars Old and New channel up, please subscribe to it. Got to get 500 subscribers before you can monetize, and it's going to take a lot of time to get that channel up and running. The sooner the better. Like I said, if you're an expert on setting up a YouTube channel, yeah, give me a yell, email me, comment below, whatever, I could use the help. All right, getting back to the student who had the problem. If you watched it, I hope you watched it a couple of times. But his main problem is his fear of leaning the motorcycle is extremely high. As soon as the bike starts to lean, he slows down. If you get below 5 miles an hour, well, there's a good chance the bike is going to tip over. It's very difficult to control the bike below 5 miles an hour. Anything above 5 and you got more force pulling you forward. Here, as soon as he makes that turn, he straightens up the bike, tries to keep it as straight up here as possible. Now he slows down, and he tries to turn at 2 miles an hour. The handlebars are turned, and down goes the bike. Now let's watch some Mecum. Auction in Kissimmee, Florida. And here's a car. You might not call this a muscle car, but it's got a 390, 2 full barrels, and puts out 345 horsepower. And this is the 2-seater version. Always, T-Birds had a great interior. 1961 and 62, the Bullet Bird. Beautiful cars. A lot of options available on these cars, and when they were new, you could never, I think it was 200 power options available, and you could never get them all working at the same time. And quality was not number one back then. Beautiful Corvette. 427, 425 horsepower. Almost every one of these cars had a fabulous paint job. There's a 4-speed also, which is really the only way to get a car like this. Back then, you had to get a 4-speed. Now, some people might not say this is a muscle car, but it's a 57 Chevy. It's got the 283, 245 horsepower fuel-injected motor. They're expecting this to go somewhere around $200,000 to $250,000. I love the styling of the interiors on the 50s cars in the early 60s, the two-tone. Should see more of that today. I mean, really, how much does it cost to make a two-tone interior? It can't be that much. And here's the holy grail of muscle cars. 1970 Chevelle 454 LS6, 450 horsepower. And this is the right color. Black with the white stripes. This particular one's an automatic. These cars are going for over $200,000. I had a friend who was 17 and had one of these. He crashed it twice. First time was $3,000 damage. The second time it was totaled. And they only cost $4,200 new. And here's a taste of what you're going to be seeing on my new channel. I'll be coming out with hopefully this week or by next weekend. This is a 2023 Challenger. It's a convertible. Dodge sent these out to a private company, converted them, and they did a really good job. And here's a Demon 170, over 1,000 horsepower. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.